Hi, friends. I'm so glad that you're tuning in. I have something that happened to me earlier this week that reminded me of the power of our mind. And it was a situation that had nothing to do with goal setting, but the principles of it reminded me so much of goal setting. And I've now retold this story, this episode, several times on some team calls and with some individuals. Got such great feedback. I thought I got to just make a Facebook Live about this and document it for myself, if nothing else, because it was a great reminder for myself. So here's what happened. Earlier this week, I was looking for an object that was lost, right? It was a flash drive specifically, and not just any flash drive. It was one of those fancy ones you can plug into your phone and it automatically downloads your pictures. You know, it was a gift that I'd received that I hadn't used it yet, but I was looking for it because I wanted to use it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And it was driving me crazy because our house is pretty organized now, actually, thanks to my friend Crystal and her organizing business and her family. They organized our house. So there's only about 2 or 3 places that it could have been. So I was looking in those places. It wasn't there. I was looking around trying to brainstorm where could it be. About 30 minutes go by, haven't found it yet. And I actually looked casually several days prior, but now this is intense. For about 30 minutes, I couldn't find it. Now I have my husband involved and he was looking as well and he couldn't find it either. And that's when I stopped to realize a couple of things, right? First of all, I realized that I was operating out of an old belief. Now, growing up, I had been told that I couldn't find anything, right? And this no doubt came from some actual experiences, but I was told, Carly can't find anything. She could, something could be lost. It could be sitting right in front of her and she wouldn't see it if she was looking for it, right? So this was the ongoing joke, like innocent joke growing up, but I realized that I had adopted this as my identity, what I had been told, even in the present day. And I just realized that this week and I thought, no, that's not me. I am good at finding things. I can change this. I am good. And then another thing that I realized was that I was focusing more on the struggle and the challenge and the frustration of not finding it than I was on actually finding it. So all I did was I just stopped and I sat down, took a few deep breaths. I visualized in my mind the object that I was looking for, and not just the object, but the actual box that it was packaged in, the little white box that I knew it was still in. And I sat in full belief that it was mine. It's in this house. I'm going to find it with ease. So after then, switching that story in my mind and focusing on me finding that box, I stood up and within 30 seconds of walking around, found it. It's right here, right? It was under some papers in a basket that it shouldn't have been. I don't know if I mindlessly put it there at one point, or perhaps our house cleaner or somebody happened to slip it under these papers, but it wouldn't have been a place I naturally looked for. Obviously, when I was trying to look for it, I didn't look there, but yet I still found it within 30 seconds. And it was kind of like magic, right? But instead, really, what it really is the power of the brain. And the way that I've reflected on this and realized this applies to our life and our goal setting is the 2 things that happened during that process. First of all, understanding the story that I had received and believed about myself. That old story that I can't find things, right? That can happen in our goal setting. I'm not good enough. Who am I to be successful at this? Those stories that we may not even realize that we're believing, but we've just accepted them as true so much that we're not even aware of them. So growing in awareness of those stories and then changing the ones that hold us back, that limit us, is so important. That was a huge takeaway for myself, I realized, through this whole experience. And the second thing is focusing on the goal, focusing on the outcome that we want, and not just focusing on it, but really in our minds, seeing it done, believing that it's ours, having no separation between us and the goal. That means that we let go completely of the frustration. And that's what had happened after experiencing that delay and finding it and that frustration. I let go of that, and my emotional state changed, my energy changed. I believe, it's mine. I'm going to find it. I have it. It's in this house somewhere. And when I could sit and focus on what I wanted instead of what I didn't want, then I found it. And that's the same thing in our goals. So often we focus on what we don't want instead of what we do want. We focus on the struggle the challenge, the people who are saying no, the obstacles to get there, how people are going to respond, how, you know, our lives are going to change, how hard that's going to be in the pursuit of our goal, instead of just focusing on the end result that we want, that we know is our purpose, that we know it can be more fulfilling, that can serve others. And when we can do those two things, when we can change our story, be aware of our story and change it into something that is more in alignment with our goals, and also to focus on that outcome with full belief, so that we're not, you know, our brains are naturally looking for a target. If we don't give it a target, then it's going to continue to focus on what's familiar. The target is going to be the same thing over and over and over again. Have you ever caught yourself saying, well, this always happens to me. Well, this is just how things are. That's our brain keeping things familiar and just creating more and more of the same. We have to be intentional about creating that target, about focusing, visualizing on that thing that we want, not just on the thing, but it's ours, right? It's the success that you deserve, that you want, that you've envisioned, that's in your heart, that's going to require effort, but you know it's there for you. When you receive that and believe it and visualize it done, that's when it can come to fruition. And only then. Otherwise, when you're focused on the resistance and the frustration, that's all we get is more resistance and frustration. So hope this was encouraging to you. I'd love your thumbs up, your likes, shares if this was valuable to you. Hope you all are having a great day. Hi, everybody. Hi, Antonia. Hi, Heather. Hi, everybody. So glad you're here. Have an awesome day.